Hi everyone, my name is Carrie Alberts. I go by Dementia Darling on social media, and I just wanted to introduce myself for my YouTube channel. So I started loving being around seniors since I was a little girl. I was always that kid that always gravitated towards the older adults in the room and kind of felt safest or most understood with the adults. Never really thought much of it, and then I went on to be a teenager, and my grandma was living with dementia, and I was about 13 when she passed away. My dad was her family caregiver for the last couple of years of her life, and that's when I was firsthand seeing the dementia journey, but I wasn't really processing it or taking it in. I was only, from like 10 years old to 13 until she passed, so didn't really take it in or understand at all what was going on. Just knew something really sad happened to my grandma. She wasn't who she was anymore. She couldn't speak. And it was a horrible process to watch, because even though my dad, who is a lawyer, he didn't know what to do, or, the process of things and how to go about the dementia process. And I know my mom was a huge support to him, but I wish I could go back and give him support and help now. But there's just not much out there. And unfortunately, still to this day, that's very common for the doctor that gives you a diagnosis to not even have information to give you to help you. So we turn to social media, we turn to YouTube, and so that's why I'm here. So going forward, after I watched my dad and my grandma's journey, I went on to college, and I was lucky enough to go to the University of Nevada, Reno, and they had a gerontology program. So I focused my bachelor's degree in gerontology through the Human Development and Family Studies degree. And then I was able to get my gerontology minor and certificate, and then focus as well my Master of Science degree in Human Development and Family Studies. I got to focus it solely on gerontology and the study of dementia and Alzheimer's care. I went on to, throughout my college time, I started at an adult daycare center that was intergenerational. It was absolutely incredible, magical, you could say, having the preschool kids on site. And so they would come over twice a day to have snacks with the grandmas and grandpas. But that job truly solidified my love for caring for people, specifically in the dementia journey. And so I was a caregiver, entertainer, I did it all for many years there. But that adult daycare center will always hold a special place in my heart, and that's what really made me realize that adult daycare is the future of care, hands down. It's affordable. It's what people are going to be able to do to age in place longer. I went on to, after getting my Master of Science, graduating, I got my Certified Dementia Practitioner certification, a CDP, and then I also got, a couple of years later, I got the Certified Montessori Dementia Care Professional certification as well. So I went on to work in memory care, specifically in assisted living, as activity. So I started as an activity assistant and worked my way up to director. I learned so much as an activity director in memory care and assisted living. I learned how to be a caregiver even more so. And being there after being in adult daycare for so long was such a different world, because it was actually where they lived. They stayed there overnight. So it was a whole different kind of world for me, but that opened up my eyes a lot. And as I would care for people there and fall more in love with the role, and also realizing how heavy and important the job is, I always noticed the caregivers and how the family, specifically the family caregivers, were going through this horrible experience, and they never felt seen. I felt like when I hugged them, I got many times when I would hug them, like, you're the first person to say this sucks. You're the first person to hug me and say they understand, and that broke my heart. And so in my work, I was always trying very hard to outwardly support the family caregivers that I came across. So after being in those community settings, I went on to work for a nonprofit and senior services in town where I live. And that job led me to being a director of an adult daycare center. And so I was back in that adult daycare world where, my jam. It was a wonderful experience. I learned a lot, but I definitely hit a point of burnout. And I knew that I was actually losing my love for my job. So I got to a place where I needed to step back and not be so intertwined with the people I was caring for, their lives, because I knew that I needed to take a step back from doing that direct care, because I was getting my heart broken so much when people would get more sick or would pass away and things would happen, and it was just breaking my heart too much, and that was what was also leading to my burnout. So I decided to take a step out of that world and now kind of turn to engagement technology. In the meantime of all of this, in 2019, I had started Dementia Darling, which is an Instagram. It's social media for people to find community, to find support, to find education, resources, anything for the dementia journey. I wanted to be like the hug I wish I could give everyone through their phone, through their computer. I want to hug every caregiver and make sure that no caregiver ever feels alone on this journey, because it's the most isolating and difficult journey. So I started that in 2019. I left in late 2021 and went on to work for IN2L, which is It's Never Too Late, and they're an engagement technology company, and they make this amazing technology that is in senior living facilities and communities for assisted living and memory care. Had a blast, learned a lot, and traveled a lot for that job. And after a little bit over a year with them, I transferred over to an incredible company called Eugeria. Eugeria is like the Amazon, I like to say, of dignified, scientifically backed dementia products for the entire journey. Eugeria stole my heart with what they're doing and how they're trying to create a one-stop shop for family and professional caregivers to find what they need to just make this journey a little bit less stressful and a little bit more adaptable for their loved one and for themselves. So I work a lot with technology that helps for the dementia journey. I work specifically with something called the Tovertafel, which is the magic table in Dutch from the Netherlands, and another piece of incredible technology called the Cradle from the Netherlands, which is used for people that are nonverbal or in those later stages of dementia to help communicate. So I have a lot that I'll share on my channel, but that's kind of like a really fast version of my story and where I come from. My heart is fully in this, and I hope when you see my page or you meet me in person that you can feel that. My career, my life is dedicated to the dementia community. I've made that official in my life. I want to do whatever I can to be a friend, be a listening ear, to be your cheerleader on this journey. I hope that one day no one needs dementia help and dementia is not even a thing anymore and we find a cure, and I know that's gonna happen. But for now, I am here for you. I see you. You are not alone, and welcome to Dementia Darling.